Hey man, just had to turn down the kicker stereo system integrated in my tailgate. What am I doing today? Well, right now I'm crushing some Busch Lights sitting in my carbon composite bed. Might take the old AT4 off-road today, get her dirty. Put that 2-inch lift suspension to work, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go. What do you mean you gotta go? I didn't even get to tell you about my 3-liter Duramax engine yet. His loss. Well boys, today I got my flannel on, I got some mud on my boots, so we're gonna review this here pickup truck. This is the brand new GMC Sierra AT4 Carbon Pro. That's a whole mouthful to say, but basically what it comes down to, it's the 1500 Sierra with an off-road package, thus the AT4. Carbon Pro has a carbon bed, and this one, what makes it so special is it has the brand new 3-liter straight 6 Duramax diesel engine. I'm pretty excited about it. I want to check this thing out because it has all kinds of new tech. But I figured we'd start first with the exterior looks while we're out here. Now, pickup trucks, or any vehicle for that matter, is a subjective thing. So I'll let you guys be the judge, but to my eyes, this is probably the best looking half-ton pickup truck you can buy right now. Personally, I think the Tundra looks super dated. Even the F-150 is getting a little bit old looking in my eyes, and the Ram just looks weird as hell to me. So this with the AT4 package gives it some blacked out exterior bits, obviously some different wheels and stuff, and Carbon Pro badging. I think it looks like a pretty badass truck, if you ask me. Now, there is one thing that I disagree with on the looks of this thing, and that is these here red tow hooks in the front. That's a little bit cheesy in my opinion. Everyone is gonna have their own opinion on that. It does give it a little bit of contrast in the front, but it just looks a little tacky for me, being that this is like a burly looking pickup truck. So we're gonna take this thing for a spin here, but first I wanna talk about some of the other features that you're gonna find on the outside of this thing. Now, what does the AT4 package come with? Well, it's a bit of an off-road package, and outside of some of the cosmetic upgrades that you've seen on the truck, it does get skid plates. It gets a 2-inch lift, as you could tell by how much higher this thing sits up than most trucks. And of course, you get 4-wheel drive, being that it's AT4. Now, how about that special bed I mentioned earlier? I'm gonna come up to tailgate, hit that button. Tailgate folds down automatically, and we reveal the carbon composite bed. This is brand new for GM, and the big selling point here is it's supposed to be basically indestructible. You might have seen some of the marketing material where they're bouncing rocks and boulders and crap off this thing. It looks kind of cool, but it doesn't look all that special. I've seen some people refer to it as a carbon fiber bed, which I don't think is actually true, and that kind of made me think that I'm gonna come up to it and it's gonna have the carbon fiber weave like you see in automotive applications, but it really just kind of looks like plastic, but supposedly it holds up really well. Now that we've covered the exterior, let's head to the interior, check that out, and then we'll take this thing for a spin. So no doubt this thing looks good from the exterior, but what about the interior? Overall, I like the interior. I am a basic bitch when it comes to trucks. I want things that are simple in a truck. I would use a truck personally as a utility vehicle and not daily drive a truck. Now, if you're gonna daily drive a truck, which a lot of people do in the US, I mean, they sell millions of these things a year, maybe you want some more creature comforts, maybe you don't. I think this is basic but efficient. Everyone loves to talk about the Ram when it comes to interiors, and when I sat in the Ram at the auto show, I was pretty blown away at the quality of the materials, the quality of the design and things like that. This is not that nice. So if you're looking for the best interior, you're gonna wanna go Ram. And in my opinion though, I don't love the big screen that's in the Ram. They're trying to do the kind of like Tesla thing where they have this giant tablet here and stuff. This one, honestly, the screen is like the opposite end. It's super small, but for me, it's fine. Like, the only thing I can picture when I look at that Ram is how expensive that screen is going to be when you have to replace it in like 5 years because it's a Dodge product. I mean, that's just the unfortunate reality. And I personally don't think that screens age that well. When you look at the screen in my Land Cruiser, like the resolution is so crappy, it looks so dated now, 10 years later. So I just kind of see that being the same thing with any screen in any vehicle. So I just don't like the big screen thing. So in this car, I like all the tactile buttons. Everything is laid out pretty nice. There's like some fake stitching, which looks kind of nice and everything. And I like the contrast in the seats. These seats are extremely comfortable and they fit me well. Now I think it's time to take this thing for a drive. And the first thing that you're going to notice me do is look at this. This is a man motion right here. A column mounted shifter. That's what I want in my pickup truck. The center console one is fine, but like Dodge has this weird disc thing that you turn to go forward and back. It's like in a pickup truck, give me the column mounted shifter. I like that. All right, so this has the 3-liter straight 6 diesel. Let's see what kind of pickup it has off the line. Traction control, puddle, 10-speed automatic, so we're going through gears like crazy. It's not fast by any means, but you could tell it has torque. It just kind of freight trains forward. The big thing with this car is, of course, this 3-liter diesel, and that's kind of the main reason I'm reviewing this car and the main reason I'm curious about this thing. It's new for GM, Duramax diesel. It makes 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. A little bit down on its competitors. I think on the torque front, I believe the Ram has 480 pound-feet of torque, but I'm not sure you're necessarily going to miss 20 foot-pounds. This thing is plenty efficient. It gets 24 mpg combined, and my friend has vouched for that, who owns this vehicle, and says that it does the advertised fuel economy. And, in this segment, that's kind of what you're looking for, right? You're looking for a balance between sort of being able to haul stuff and also being able to get decent fuel economy if you're going to drive it every day. Now, of course, it takes diesel because it's a diesel engine. But one thing I want to note, just like as we sit here waiting for this light, this thing is so quiet, and driving around as well is like really quiet for a diesel engine. And of course it's newer tech, but also it's a straight 6. Like straight 6s are inherently more balanced. The whole experience itself is actually quite refined for a pickup truck, and especially a diesel, to be honest with you. I'm gonna hop on the highway here. But yeah, I'm really liking this straight 6 diesel so far. It's matched to the vehicle very, very well. This is no doubt a really big friggin' half ton. I mean, how big have trucks gotten? How big and how expensive have trucks gotten? Because this is like a $65,000 truck the way it's optioned. But man, it rides really, really good pretty much all over the place, in my opinion. I was expecting the ride to be a little rougher because some of the competitors, like the Ram, has air suspension. This just has your traditional like shock and spring, leaf springs in the rear. But haven't driven the standard one, so can't really speak to it. But it has a really good ride quality on some less than perfect Ohio roads that I'm actually quite surprised about, to be honest. I was expecting it to be a little rougher, especially with that off-road package. Now, I'm not going to review this thing how I review performance vehicles and talk about the at-limit handling and the steering feel and stuff, because it's a truck, it doesn't have any steering feel. I will talk about the steering weight though, very light wheel, really nice. But this thing just like, for being an off-road truck, I'm just amazed at how well it rides. And then the other thing is how much tech it comes with. As maybe not as luxurious as the interior is, it does have so much tech. Like there are I think 20 cameras on this thing, man. I'll show you guys the screen now. There's so many different views of camera angles you can get on this thing, which is really quite nice when these trucks have gotten so big and the hood lines are so tall and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to see what the hell you're doing. But so there's all these friggin' camera angles, which I think is really, really cool. As far as other tech things, I've used the radar cruise control on this thing with great success. We're on a really bad road right now, and really, really fine. Just want to point that out for you guys. The radar cruise is really good. I'm a BMW driver, so I like to drive as close as possible to the person's rear bumper in front of me. So one thing I will say about the radar cruise is it gives a ton of room, which is fine and good, and it honestly is really good. But I don't know if that's something you can configure, but you do sit back pretty far from people, and if you're in traffic and stuff like that, people are going to cut in front of you and take advantage of that. It's just something to note. One other thing as we go up this hill, I got torque for days. 10-speed transmission shifts a lot. I will say I did drive the brand new F-150. I had a rental F-150 that had the 10-speed as well. In my opinion, the implementation, I believe GM and Ford use the same transmission, but the implementation in this GMC, don't take offense to that, this GMC is better. I found the Ford a little bit clunky at low speeds, especially with downshift, so I don't know if that's tuning, I don't know if that's like the rear differential or whatever, but this one is silky smooth. And we're going about 45 miles an hour now, and I could whisper to my passengers, even on the highway. This, like, trucks have just become this really weird thing, in my opinion, because I've always looked at a truck as just like a utilitarian vehicle, but now they're like absolute luxury. One other cool but really also ridiculous feature of this truck is this speaker system built into this tailgate. The tailgate folds out like a transformer type thing in a million different directions, and ultimately you get this like little control panel here. You can hook up to Bluetooth and blast some tunes when you're tailgating or off-roading or whatever the hell. It's ridiculous, but it is admittedly also kind of cool. Let's sum up this truck. I honestly had a hard time coming up with things that I don't like about it, kind of the con section. And the more I thought about it though, the more that seemed acceptable, given that this truck is $65,000. $65,000 for a half-ton truck. That is a lot of money, so it better be good. I have the window sticker right here. A lot of options, obviously, with this one, and $65,700 out the door. I think when it comes to summing this thing up, the highlight for me is the engine and the transmission as well, too, really. But this engine is just so awesome. Like, a diesel engine to have really good NVH characteristics, like it's super silky smooth, it is relatively quiet, especially for a diesel, and it has good power. It's just overall a great little package, and more specifically, it returns a great fuel economy number at 24 combined, so it is extremely efficient. I think that's, for me, the highlight of this car to me is that, or this truck I should say. The 10-speed trans is perfectly matched to this diesel engine, being that diesels have kind of a narrower power band, not too much RPMs. It's perfect to go through the gears, and of course you're getting better fuel economy and stuff. It just shifts so smooth, and it's such a good implementation. I don't know how well it's going to hold up. That's something that is to be seen, and that's something that I look for in trucks is longevity personally, but we're just going to have to see how well this 10-speed holds up. The rest of the thing, I mean, it rides really good. You know, all the tech in this thing, all the cameras, I show you guys the different camera views, is just like insane. It's got a heated steering wheel, it's got adaptive cruise. One of the things I didn't like was the lane keep assist. I found it to be annoying and untrustworthy. Like, I would just pretend like the car or the truck doesn't have it because I didn't think it was that useful. But overall, I mean, if you have 65 grand to blow on a truck, sure, like this thing is amazing. Personally, for me, I would probably opt for a lower tier model. Like, this thing is so big, as is, like half tons have gotten so big, but with a 2-inch lift, it's even bigger. And in my opinion, are you really going to be off-roading a half-ton pickup that much? Like, it's just so big on trails and stuff, it would be so cumbersome. I get it, like you might be going on some muddy, like light off-roading trails, but you don't need a 2-inch lift. I don't really think you need skid plates. Like, what I'm saying is I think you can opt for a lower tier model, save some money. I would not opt for this carbon bed. Like, it's cool, but like it's just more money in my opinion for no reason. So get the cheapest truck you can get with that diesel engine and the 10-speed trans, and I think you'll be super happy. Otherwise, I love the Sierra. I can look over the fact that the interior is relatively basic, once again, because of all that tech. And I mean, it's a fantastic, fantastic truck. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and definitely subscribe if you want to see more. Follow me in between episodes on Instagram at Eat Sleep Drive TV. I'll see you guys on the next one.